First off, what comes to mind when I say physical, emotional, intellectual, sexual, and soulful elements? Are there any ideas already popping in your head that feel good and feel energizing, that feel like could support you? Well, there was a lot of the stuff that you were exposed to in the past 7 weeks, right? And there's just so much more out there. So, how can we make sense of all this and bring it all down to a digestible form that can begin serving you as your toolkit going forward? The way we're going to do this is that I'm going to guide you through a series of questions that correspond with each of these 5 elements that I mentioned. And you can pause the video after each question, but I will also take it quite slow so you can scribble just some bullet points if you'd like to. Ready? Well, okay, let's begin. The physical practice first. What activities support your physical health to enable you to feel energized and light and optimistic? What activities feel grounding, where you're reminded how good it is to be in your body, to feel more flexible and stronger? What activities are useful for moving your energy when you feel stuck and to bring a breath of fresh air into your life? And what activities are great for physical and mental recovery? Lastly, what places, events, and people are supportive of your well-being and you can incorporate them into your physical experience? Next, the emotional well-being. In order to maintain a balanced emotional well-being, what practices are calming, centering, and progress-orientated that you can use as a prevention? What practices can you then cultivate as an intervention when there's an emotion present in your body? What practices allow you to work with your emotions productively rather than avoid them? And what can you now incorporate into your life that supports you when you're actually feeling emotionally distressed? How can you express emotions with others and connect heart to heart with those that you feel love for? Okay, moving on to our intellectual growth. What practices might you introduce to maintain an open and non-judgmental mind towards yourself and others? How can you ensure that you don't give in to the battle of righteousness and intellectual superiority, but rather cultivate curiosity towards yourself and others? How can you maintain a learner's mindset and avoid an imposter syndrome? How can you ensure that you always seek to look at the reality from different perspectives so that you are always expanding and evolving? How can you take part in intellectually stimulating conversations with other people to continue growing? Now, a few prompts for the sexual pleasure. How can you maintain a positive connection to your sexual energy, which is also your creative life force? What practices and activities can you perform as an act of self-love to remind yourself that you deserve pleasure and love and happiness? How can you use the sexual pleasure potential to fuel your passions and your desires and your dreams? How can you connect with others without a condition yet passionately. And here comes the last one, my very favorite one, the soulful creations. What nurtures your soul? How can you make sure that you regularly perform this activity without attachment to outcome or some need to justify it? How can you bring the childlike play into your daily life, either through projects or hobbies, or infusing this element into your daily tasks? How can you connect with a mind like soul family so that you can feel the sense of belonging and community? So, how are you doing? How did you like the questions? Have you come up with a few amazing ideas for yourselves? I'm sure you did. Well, use this toolkit as a living and breathing organism and keep adjusting it depending on your current needs. It will keep changing. And start practicing as soon as this week. It will also help you to make some adjustments to your toolkit that will depend on the practices that will work best for you right now. Next week, we will really zoom into your vision and use this toolkit that you are creating to fuel what you are reaching for, what you're desiring, what you're creating. I'm so excited about this journey, my friends. I will see you next week. See you soon. Bye.